Keeping your attendees engaged in virtual events is critical for virtual success. No more days of Zoom and boring, monotonous meetings. We're going to talk about engagement strategies and how we keep our attendees for our clients and our events engaged the Lyons Den way. Let's do this. I'm Kevin Lyons. I'm CEO of Lyons Den Solutions and the Chief Solutions Officer. Today we're going to be talking about how we leverage the run of show for our virtual events to bake in engagement strategies to keep our attendees engaged and keep our supporters and everyone else happy with us that they're getting the attention of the attendees in this virtual landscape, right? So first off, what is a run of show? Well, what's a little bit about us? How have we implemented this? Well, we do events large and small. We have done anywhere from a national conference that we pivoted from a 4-day in-person extravaganza symposium conference with exhibits halls and all this other stuff into a 4-day virtual event. We did that this past August. It was the highest attended, most successful, highest revenue, and highest profitable event our client had ever had to date. And it was a huge success because we kept the engagement factor. We refused to just use Zoom or just use something that anyone could use. We built a complete solution around this, around my favorite video software and streaming software, and that's Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live brought the business into that conference through using multiple systems and NDI inputs and everything else. But we're not going to get technical today. Today we're going to talk a lot more about strategy. We could have the best studio in the world or the cheapest iPhone you're videoing off of, but if you don't have strategy and intentionality behind bringing engagement opportunities to those attendees and having the attendees give a two-way conversation, it's just basically a talking head, and your funding's going to run out, your opportunities are going to shy away, and you're not going to develop the audience that you really need for yourself or for your event. So let's talk a little bit about engagement. What is engagement? One of the things that I always share when I'm co-hosting or moderating a conference is this is not a broadcast. This is a conversation. We need your feedback. That feedback as an attendee might come in the ways of a like or a thumbs up or an emoji. It might come in the way of a question that you ask or a comment that you make. You may want to go into a breakout room and go on camera with a small selection of people. There needs to be this two-way conversation. Otherwise, it's a megaphone. It's not a communication. It's not a conversation. It's just a megaphone. That lasts only so long. And you don't build that deep tribe-like communication between you and your audience. We want there to be an erasement or a removal of a stage effect. We do not want them to even know that we're presenting to them. We want them to feel that we're together. And that was ever so more important in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic where we were apart physically. So here's what the number one tool that we use as our canvas, and that is a run of show. If you've ever been involved in productions or live events, there's always a ROS, a run of show. The acronym is ROS. And so for that run of show, it basically is a minute-by-minute outline. It's not an agenda. It's not a schedule. It's a minute-by-minute outline. This is a simple one. So we do big conferences, but we also do a lot of small webinars. Actually, today I'm recording this or streaming this, so I don't have to record it and edit it. Another thing I do is we did 12 hours of live streaming today for a client of ours, Rheumatology Nurses Society. We did 5 webinars in 5 regional markets, all through one big long broadcast using Restream and using Ecamm Live, going to private Facebook groups, private Facebook event pages, and various locations on the interwebs, if you will, to where we brought these audiences together. And we used a lot of engagement strategies in the middle of that. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. So here, let me show you what, our run of show looked like for our program today. The print's kind of small, but basically it's a minute-by-minute tracker, if you will, of what is happening at that time. Here we see that We had a 15-minute countdown timer, and we do a longer countdown timer on webinars, and there's some why behind that. I'm sorry, and then we had a 15-minute pre-call, a 5-minute countdown timer, a 1-minute going into a we're about to go live, and then we went live, introductions, hosts, and everything else. So basically the run of show is that minute by minute piece. Every time we put together a run of show of what we're doing for a conference, an event, it could be for your live stream, we actually then ask ourselves, where in this process is the audience going to have an opportunity to interact with the presenter, with a moderator, or anyone else? And you can see here, and then how are we wanting them to interact with us? Well, first off, we do the basic things you can hear on any of the experts out there about live streaming of, hey, give us a thumbs up if our audio is okay. Give us, some, reaction if you like what you're hearing. Leave a comment and tell us where you're listening or watching from. Like, those are the block and tackle things. The next level things that we do, it's not super rocket science or super sauce, but we do a lot of giveaways. We do raffles, and we do them at unexpected times. And we tell them in the beginning, you're going to want to stay throughout the entire day. You want to stay through the entire program, entire event, entire conference, because at the end of this, we're giving away huge prizes: iPad Pros, Apple Watches, $50 Amazon gift cards, whatever it is. But you don't want to miss a single minute, because we are doing, every time we finish a session, whether it's a pre-recorded short video or someone's bringing in on a live session, we stop and we do a raffle, or we do a quick giveaway, these $25 Amazon gift cards or whatever. And we're constantly having them watching them, paying attention, and they're being glued to their screen because they have to. We use a couple of platforms that allow us to do this. You have to be online to be available to win this. I've seen it even done recently on the Ecamm Live, where they used basically a wheel that everyone put numbers in the comments. They spun the wheel, and basically if you won that, if you hit that number, you win. So there's all types of things, and so that is giveaways, right? That's games and giveaways. That's one strategy. Another strategy that we look at is helping the audience practice engagement before they're even consuming content. And here's a couple of things that we've done recently to do that. We did a 2.5-day conference for our client, and what we started with was a social hour with trivia. And we used a platform called Meeting Pulse, and we took the audience response system, or the polling and quiz opportunity in there, and we filled it with our own trivia questions. We used some of them as true, real trivia, but as far as like pop culture and so forth, but we also baked in there some brand specific questions. But we gave away an iPad Pro that night, and so basically the top winner would get that, and we had a leaderboard of winners coming all the way through the night. Well, what are they doing? While they're playing trivia, they're learning how to use our polling platform. They're commenting back. They're liking and giving us emojis and thumbs up and downs and all this other stuff. We're training them how to engage, so that when they jump into the actual program itself, they have already networked, they've already met other attendees, they've already laughed, you find out who the funny people are and who the serious people are, you see friends that you have met before online. It's all a strategy. It's not just to have fun, and it's not just for networking, it's we're teaching them the platform, we're teaching them how to engage on the platform itself. Here's another strategy that we did that was super successful. For that large 4-day annual conference, traditionally, we have had a great friend of mine, Leslie, and I've shared this on other videos, do a paint a picture, which is basically, she's an artist and she leads the entire audience into the process of painting a picture. And she teaches them what colors to use, what brushes to use, and so forth. We were like, that is such a hallmark staple of this conference. We're not going to lose that. So we brought that virtual. We got a sponsor. We packed up boxes, put in there, canvases and easels and paints and paintbrushes, and we sent those boxes out to the attendees. Now, you may not be able to do that, but you can put together an Amazon shopping list for them or something like that. But we had everyone participate on the platform. They sent in pictures of their paintings. We posted those pictures using Ecamm Live up on screen. They commented. They also liked and shared and gave all the emojis and stuff. And they had a great time doing that. And guess what? When they started that next morning with a product theater that we had, which is a paid promotional pharmaceutical theater, they were already engaging. They were on the countdown timer before the event started. They were saying, hi, good morning, how are you doing today? So again, another opportunity for engagement is come up with virtual events and use them as warm-up events for your actual live stream. So if maybe you're a solo person and you're just doing a live video like this. Now, I didn't do any engagement strategy on this video, so don't critique me on that. It's not the purpose for this video. I just want to instruct and give some training of what's worked for us to help you out. So now you're welcome to leave comments and likes and everything else. I'd love your feedback, but I wasn't doing the live stream engagement. So one of the things that I think is really important for when you're doing these engagement strategies is come up with things that are fun. They're a little disruptive. They're outside of what you would normally do to have audiences participate. So let's talk a little deeper about engagement for attendees on some of the smaller programs. Well, again, think about anything you would do in a networking setting, or you're going to a small group, or you're going into a place of worship, or you're going to a conference. All of the engagements that you have with people, always look for a parallel way that you can construct that and do that on the virtual space, in the virtual live stream. So coming all the way back down to the run of show, when people, what we did on this workforce seminar series, we used to do in-person dinner programs. We would be at steakhouses all over the country, bringing people in person. And during that, we did giveaways, just like we did today. We also did some trivia type stuff. We had a raffle system to where everyone would pick up tickets as they came in, and we would actually a lot of times do the giveaways by calling out the ticket number. Well, the platform that we use has that same function, so we basically recreated a dinner program, if you will, into a workshop. And I have to say, it really went well. And we had a lot of people engaged, a lot of people come to the table, if you will, and work through it. But again, come back to your run of show, put your schedule together. If you don't design it, it won't happen. If you don't intentionally think about it, it won't come off as well as you could have. So I encourage you, whether you're doing a live stream, whether you're doing a webinar or whatever, look for disruptive ways that you can keep things moving with your audience by having them not know what's coming next or what they may miss, right? FOMO, they don't want to miss that 5-minute break in between those two presentations, because that might be the break that they just win their $100 Amazon gift card. So hopefully this gives you some ideas. Leave me some thoughts and comments.